Hey theater fans, I'm Dakota.
And I'm Jeff.
And we're the Theater Snobs.
When you say you're ready to go, Dakota, it means you're ready to go.
This is our new running theme. I really like this.
Constantly. Dakota and it's like a children's book. Dakota and the hard time pushing the button.
The very hard time, no good button musical.
Pushing Spider-Woman. So we are reacting to the Tony nominations, and we thought that before we react, we could give just a brief look into how the Tony nominations are done and what goes into that. So we're going to talk a little bit about the history, right, Dakota?
Yes. The Tonys have come a long way.
Yes, they have. And then we are going to talk about how things are nominated, and then we will get into our reactions to this year's nominations. So, start with history, yeah?
Yes. Okay, so
Tell us all about it.
Tony Awards are such a staple in our nowadays life, but they did not always exist. Very early theater, there was no Tony Awards. The Tony Awards started in 1947. American Theater Wing and established these back then. But nowadays, the Broadway League partners with American Theater Wing to bring us a broadcast every year.
And the Broadway League is producers, right?
Yes. You know we love to talk about these behind-the-scenes people.
Oh, yes.
The Tony Awards are named for Antoinette Perry, an actress, director, producer, and the leader of the American Theater Wing. And the Tony Awards...
She co-founded it, didn't she?
Well...
Wasn't she like one of the founders?
I'll edit that in post, but I don't know. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think it says here that she was the co-founder of the American Theater Wing.
All right. I don't know when that started either, but we should look this up. Timely, I guess, for April is that this year. The first Tony Awards were on Easter Sunday, April 6, 1947, in the Grand Ballroom of the Waldorf Astoria Hotel.
Ah, the good old Waldorf.
Yeah, and they were not a sit-down awards show like we know them today. It was a black tie optional dinner, dancing, and some entertainment. So sort of like the, performances for, best whatever that we know today, but probably a lot less formalized. 13 winners were presented in 10 categories, and there were 6 special awards at the first ever Tonys. Yeah. Now we've got it telecast on Paramount Plus, but back in the day, it was probably just broadcast over the radio. I'm not even sure. The first one, I think it just happened. I don't know if there was I don't know if anyone could catch it.
It just happened.
Yeah.
No one knew that it existed. Unless you were staying at the Waldorf and spying.
I would like that. Imagine if we could just do a little time portal.
That would be fun. A time portal would be fun. But could you imagine just you're staying at the Waldorf and all these people, you're like, what's going on? Why are all these people so fancily dressed? Why? What?
Yeah, they keep running in and out.
Right? You're running to the pool in your swimming costume and you're like, la 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 la. And then there's all these people in gowns and tuxes and things. It'd be quite fun. And look at how we've graduated, right? This year, they're held at the Radio City Music Hall, one of America's largest performing spaces. And Cynthia Erivo is hosting. She is, of course, the Elphaba from the Wicked films, and she's done numerous things. She's Oscar nominated for movies. Before Wicked, she's got some Tonys, she's got some Oliviers. She's a well decorated actress. So I think it'll be interesting to see the tone difference though between Cynthia and someone like Neil Patrick Harris or Ariana DeBose, because I think Cynthia is a bit more, I don't know if formal is the word, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I'm interested. I'm interested to see what the opening looks like that we've become so accustomed to, what the what the jokes are this
Right.
year, because one of the most recent years, either last year or the year before, correct me, was during writer's strike. So it was quite a different show than we're used to as well.
Ooh, was that last year?
I think that was last year.
Is that why they weren't in Radio City, because of the writer's strike?
I also think they were trying to, broaden into Washington Heights, and Lin-Manuel Miranda says something and then we all get into it.
Everybody listens, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay, so let's talk about nominees. You said there was, 11 categories in the first?
It says 13 winners in 10 categories.
Okay, gotcha. So 13 winners in 10 categories, and this year there are 26 categories of awards in addition to several special awards. So we've gone big, and we're not going home, so to speak. And we have acting categories, we have design categories, we have creative categories. So it's exciting to see, obviously, which show garners the most nominations. Historically, Stereophonic last year became the play production with the most Tony nominations.
Yes.
But Tom Stoppard's The Coast of Utopia in 2007 is still the play production that has won the most Tony Awards. And then, of course, we know Hamilton has the most nominations for a musical, and The Producers still holds the most Tony Awards won for a musical.
Wow.
I know, right? It's exciting. Those are pretty self-explanatory, right? Like, if a play is nominated, if it's a revival or if it's new, the Tony Awards committee meets and talks about question marks. We've talked about this in the past, but this year they have said that Eureka Day is going to be a revival because it has been off-Broadway and in London, and apparently that means it's a revival, which is interesting. A bit controversial, I think, but, Here we are in controversial times, so it makes sense. Let's get theater on board with the controversy, right? But then you have the acting ones. So the Tonys gives out 2 levels of acting. You have lead actor and you have featured actor. And the difference between the two is a lead actor is typically billed above the title. So if you've ever been to a Broadway show, I hope those of you listening have. If not, you'll get there. Keep the dream alive. There are actors whose names sometimes appear above the title in the program. That automatically means that they are eligible for the lead actor Tony. If there are lead actors whose names do not appear above the title, then the Tony Awards committee has to formally say this person will be considered in the lead actor role. So basically the way it's credited in the opening night playbill is what the Tony Awards committee goes by. And then in special cases, they'll look at it and be like, wait a second, this person is a leading actor, so they're going to be eligible in the leading actor. And this person's a featured, so they're going to be eligible in the featured actor. And they make those decisions, as we've said before, at different meetings throughout the Tony season. I think they have to meet one more time this year, right? Oh no, sorry, this will be after the nominations, so we don't need to say that. Yeah, okay. So, oftentimes, as Dakota likes to complain about, Hollywood stars are given above the title billing, and non-Hollywood stars are given below the title billing. So, for example, James Monroe Eglehart is eligible this year for his performance in the Louis Armstrong musical. I forget the name. What's it called?
It's a Wonderful World.
Right. And his name did not appear above the title, but the Tony Awards nominating committee has decided that he will be eligible in the leading actor category. So there's just a little glance into how these things go. And now let us prepare for our reactions to the 2025 Tony Award nominees.
Yes. And if you're keeping track of people who have a lot of awards and nominations under their belt, there's an opportunity for Audra McDonald to gain one more.
Bum, bum, bum.
She is the most decorated Tony Award winner in competitive categories. Do I think she will be nominated again? Yes.
Well, the most performer.
Yes.
She's the most decorated performer because our good friend Stephen Sondheim, may he rest in peace, has 8.
Yes, and Bob Fosse also up there with, I think, 9, because he was a director choreographer, so.
Oh, there you go. So he has 9 total. So
I don't know
he is
if anybody
the
will
most
surpass
decorated.
them, but.
Well, listen, Audra's going to give him a run for his money, let's be honest.
Yes. Because guess what, guys? We're recording in the same room together.
This never happens.
And we're in New York City. So.
If you hear random noises, we're just off Times Square. So you never know what's going to happen.
Live.
And in living color.
Okay, so we have hinted that we might have an episode about the 2025 Tony Award nominations and our reactions. So here they are.
Here we go. Let's start with Best Play.
Okay, Best Play, English, The Hills of California, John Proctor is the villain, Oh Mary, and Purpose.
Okay, so the only 2 of those that are still running, I think. Or no, 3. I guess John Proctor is still running.
Yes.
So John Proctor is the villain, Oh Mary, and Purpose. Purpose just won the Pulitzer.
Pulitzer Prize, yep.
So I feel like it's either going to be Oh Mary or Purpose. Or if those split the vote, John Proctor is the villain, which people are like surprised by. I don't think they expected it to be taken as well as it was, and I don't think they expected it to be as popular as it is.
Correct, though. There was a lot of chatter about English earlier in the year. Hills of California, I haven't heard too much chatter about.
It's Jez Butterworth, right? So it could go either way.
But Oh Mary, I
think that's going to be the one.
Also started off Broadway, and Cole Escola, the writer and main actor in it, is
right, and
pretty crazy.
It's been running for almost a year now.
Very hard to get tickets.
Yeah.
But Purpose, Brandon Jacob Jenkins came away with some Tony nominations and Tony last year for Appropriate. So could be some back-to-back wins here.
So I think that's the point, right? Like oftentimes if 2 very, very popular things are nominated, they'll split the vote, and then that third thing somehow magically wins, and everyone's like, what?
Could be.
Next up, we have the nominations for Best Musical. We have the Buena Vista Social Club, Dead Outlaw, Death Becomes Her, Maybe Happy Ending, and Operation Mincemeat.
Okay.
I've seen one of those.
I have also only seen one of these, and I think it's the same one.
Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Dead Outlaw.
Becomes Her.
Just kidding. Mine's Death Becomes Her too.
I hate you. Dead Outlaw has opened quite recently.
It's not doing well in ticket sales. But I think it's very inexpensive to run because it's not a big cast.
The set looks pretty
minimal. They just transferred from off-Broadway. So costumes, stuff like that maybe got tweaked, but it's not like they're reinventing the wheel here.
Okay, this is true. And we've talked about Operation Mincemeat, also very new, but transferring from West End.
Right.
Not sure from what I've read if it will or won't pick up an audience here, if the jokes land, if the story lands.
It's extended its run because it was supposed to be a limited run, and it has extended twice, I believe.
Okay. That was also very hard to get tickets to when it first came out, so if that means anything. But out of these, Maybe Happy Ending.
Opened in October.
This is based on a Korean musical?
Yeah, it's a Korean musical that has been translated and brought over, and it's found a devoted audience, very devoted audience. And everyone that I've talked to who has seen it says it's just so heartwarming and lovely, which the last time that happened was Dear Evan Hansen, and I didn't find that to be heartwarming at all.
Okay. Well, yes, that's a very layered story. I don't know if I would call it heartwarming, but out of these, only one is an established franchise.
Which is exciting.
Death Becomes Her, coming from a movie, which we talked about the last couple of seasons have been a lot of things it was very saturated with Notebook,
Yes.
Gatsby,
Yes.
you know, things
Outsiders.
right,
Lots
things,
of things.
and lots of jukeboxes. And I don't see a lot of nominations for jukeboxes at all, or many of them on Broadway, actually, right now.
Well, Buena Vista Social Club is based on something, isn't it?
It's based off of a Cuban album, I believe, but
Gotcha.
just there's actually no musical on Broadway right now that is like the life and songs of, because there was Neil Diamond, Cher, Tina,
MJ.
Okay, MJ,
MJ's still here.
but no new things like that.
Yeah, nothing new. Yeah.
A lot of originality.
Well, hang on. No. Just in Time is Bobby Darin.
The story of Bobby Darin.
And you had Louis Armstrong earlier, James Monroe Eglehart.
Right. Okay.
So there has been a couple.
But I think
they just haven't been running.
I think for the past few years with Moulin Rouge and things like that,
and Juliet.
And Juliet. We're seeing
Neil Diamond, beautiful, whatever.
Huge franchises that had a movie following or a huge performer. So this is a lot more originality in these categories.
Yes.
I'm definitely thinking my pick is going to be Death Becomes Her.
You think so?
I think so.
Listen, Megan Hilty and Jen Simard are forces to be. And I was watching the Today Show performance today, and it's just so musical. Like, it's so musical theater-y, and it's so much fun. I totally agree with you. I think Megan Hilty and Jen Simard are a force to be reckoned with in that show. They are both just brilliant performers, and it's so much fun. I am torn because I know Dead Outlaw has a very, very big following from off-Broadway, and I know maybe Happy Ending could very well be the one because it's been running for so much longer. I think my heart wants it to be Death Becomes Her, but I think my head is telling me it's probably going to be maybe Happy Ending. Okay.
Next category, Best Original Score, Music and or Lyrics written for the theater. Now, I'm going to get into my eligibility in a moment, but the nominations are Dead Outlaw.
We have thoughts.
Death Becomes Her, maybe Happy Ending, Operation Mincemeat, and Real Women Have Curves, the musical.
And what is your...
Okay, so at first, I was very, offended that Smash was not nominated for Best Score, because I was like, we saw Smash, and I knew some of the songs, but I had never watched the show until now.
Right. Wait, you've been watching it?
Oh, yes, I've been watching it.
Oh,
I'm now obsessed.
Okay.
I'm a little late to the party, but I did know some of the songs because in college, somebody would, want to do it at their senior recital or whatnot. And I was like, oh, these songs sound musical, but they're from a TV show. Okay. And then when we went to see Smash...
They're from a TV show about musicals. Oh, my goodness.
I recognized one of the songs, and you're like, this is from the TV show. And I'm like, no, this is from Some Like It Hot, another musical that the two songwriters, Mark Shaman...
And...
Just kidding, because it's not nominated in this category.
I was looking at the nominations.
But anyway, the two songwriters of Smash had written Some Like It Hot also. So Let's Be Bad was in Smash the TV show. Then they used it in that musical. So when I started thinking why it wasn't nominated for Best Original Score, then I looked up that it's not eligible because it was not originally written for this musical and for the theater. So Smash, my pick, could not be here. I love the music from Death Becomes Her. Starting to listen to maybe Happy Ending a little bit. Definitely a different
feel,
genre
right?
and tone than other things you've heard on Broadway so far. But I'm not sure who will take this category.
Well, because then you've also got David Yazbek, who has won before on Dead Outlaw. And then Real Women Have Curves, Joy Huerta and Benjamin Velez. I'm probably saying that wrong. I apologize. I think that it's very cool because it has a very Latin feel to it. And it's just completely different, right? So I don't know. This is a tough one. What's your pick?
Well, we are seeing Real Women Have Curves. We will have seen it before the Tonys come out, but as of right now, I guess I'll have to say Death Becomes Her. It's very over-the-top, mellow, dramatic, but I think a lot of why I like it is because of what the two powerhouse ladies do with the songs.
They're so good.
So it's hard for me to take away the performances from the score in that one, but I guess I'll still go with Death Becomes Her. I think they're going to have a lot of takeaways, I hope.
I agree. I think that it's big and brassy, and it's the most nominated show. They have the most nominations this season. So I think it's big and brassy. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards Dead Outlaw.
Okay.
But I also feel like I'd be okay with any of these winning. I have no idea about Operation Mincemeat because it's sort of a last-minute entry. And if it does win, I'll probably be upset. Next up, Best Revival of a Play. We have Eureka Day, which we've talked about before. Thornton Wilder's Our Town. I'm not sure why we're billing it that way, but there it is. Romeo and Juliet. William Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. Not billed that way, but there you go. Yellowface by David Henry Hwang.
Now, only 4 plays in this category. I learned today from a little reading that if there's only a certain number of eligible things in a category, they will reduce or
shrink or grow,
increase the nominations. So sometimes you'll see 4, most times you'll see 5, and one or 2 categories we see 6.
It just depends on how many shows open and close.
Yes. Revivals of plays. It's funny to me that some of these things have been produced a million times, and some of them I'm like, that's a revival?
Well,
how does that become eligible?
Eureka Day is in the revival category, but it's never run on Broadway. It's just been off. But it's been done several times off, and I think that was why.
Right.
It was written
just before COVID in
2018 or 2019.
Which is also strange to think of something so recent as a revival.
Right.
So, but do we go with something pretty timely and relevant, and another timely and relevant, Yellowface, or 2 really oldies that have been completely revamped again?
Yeah, I don't know. There was a lot of talk about Yellowface. I could see that winning. I could also see Romeo and Juliet winning because the last Romeo and Juliet revival did not fare so well. And I think people really enjoyed this one. Who knows?
My pick is going to be for Eureka Day. I think it's going to happen.
I think I'm going to go Yellowface, partly to just be against you and partly because I think it's going to win.
So we're not picking oldies, guys.
Nope.
Okay, Best Revival of a Musical.
Ooh. This is
got
a tight category.
Floyd Collins, Gypsy, Pirates, the Penzance Musical, and Sunset Boulevard. Floyd Collins has just opened. Tina Landau.
With Jeremy
Jordan.
Yep.
Tina Landau, book and lyrics, also has Redwood on Broadway at the current moment.
No nominations for Redwood.
No noms for that, so she's going to probably be fueling her energies into this more. Floyd Collins, very recent. Gypsy, super staple.
Hang on, pause. Floyd Collins, isn't that like an old story though?
Okay, it's like a 20s mining-ish story.
Gotcha,
but
okay. I'm seeing it tomorrow and I literally know nothing about it. So
I read a little bit about it. Again, don't think it's like kind of like from what I can gather from reading, it sounds like 127 Hours, which was a movie with James Franco where he hiked and fell into a pit.
Had to cut off his arm.
Something where he's in a cavern.
Jeremy Jordan saw off his arm on stage?
No, don't put that fake news out there.
Man.
He's supposed to be in like a very enclosed caverny thing, but I don't know how that translates to a giant stage.
We'll see.
But yeah, Gypsies.
Ultimate Stage Mother with Queen Audra.
I said gypsies. Gypsy.
I thought you were going to say gypsy is, like gypsy apostrophe S.
I'm losing it. I mean, that's like golden age.
Yeah,
so not sure if that will win.
Pirates by some of the OG musical theater.
Yeah, this is like operetta.
Gilbert and Sullivan.
Gilbert and Sullivan, Jinx Monsoon.
They have jazzed it up, I hear.
Okay. David Hyde Pierce. No nom, but...
Yeah. I think this is the only nom it got, isn't it? Maybe we'll see.
Maybe
I don't
one
know.
other?
We're looking.
Yeah. And Sunset Boulevard, which is completely thrown things on its head with the way it does some sound and tech and lights and projections. So I'm thinking it's going to go Sunset Boulevard.
I am too. I think this is going to win. I hope and pray that Jamie Lloyd does not win director for Sunset Boulevard, but I think this is gonna take the revival. Although I could see Gypsy stepping in because they have tweaked it slightly to make it more interesting in terms of
the casting,
right? So I don't know. I think Gypsy could sneak in, but I think it's going to be Sunset Boulevard.
Innovation.
Here we go. Best performance by an actor in a leading role in a play. I feel like this should be changed to outstanding because I don't think we can say it's the best, you know?
All right.
I think outstanding is where it should go.
Just in general, everything's outstanding.
George Clooney for Good Night and Good Luck. Oh, wait, didn't he just do that on screen? Well, that's boring. Cola Scola for Oh Mary. John Michael Hill in Purpose. Daniel Day Kim in Yellowface. And Harry Lennox in Purpose. Oh, and another one. Louis McCartney in Stranger Things, The First Shadow.
Okay. So 2 actors from Purpose. I think the clear takeaway here is Cola Scola.
I agree. I think people might get starry-eyed. We told you we're recording live in New York City, friends. People might get starry-eyed by George Clooney, but I think it's going to be Cola Scola. I think they are really going to clinch it.
And glad you bring that up because they are in Best Actor category.
Though they identify as non-binary.
So I think you're right.
You know what?
The takeaway.
The only thing that I think could throw that out of whack is Daniel Day Kim because his performance in Yellowface was lauded, like Lauded, not Louded. He was celebrated. That's the word I'm looking for.
All right. And to counter that, best performance by an actress in a leading role in a play.
Or outstanding performance.
He's going to gun for this now. Laura Donnelly for The Hills of California. Mia Farrow, The Roommate.
No Patti LuPone.
Woo woo.
Snub.
That's fine. LaTanya Richardson Jackson for Purpose. Sadie Sink for John Proctor as the villain. And Sarah Snook for the many, many characters she plays in The Picture of Dorian Gray. Okay, a lot of actor noms for Purpose.
Mm-hmm. It could end up sweeping.
Either
I think it opened in the perfect time. Mm-hmm. Like enough before the nominations and enough before the actual Tonys that a lot of voters are probably seeing it. But you never know. I don't know. The Roommate felt chaotic to me.
And Mia Farrow, I tend to think that big film stars are not going to get the win, but she's definitely someone that has name power.
Also, isn't Laura Donnelly the only other nomination that Hills of California has?
So far, that's the only thing I see. But yeah, not a ton for them.
Yeah, okay. Which is rare for a Jez Butterworth. Usually when his shows are good, they get lots of nominations. So that might be telling. You know what I mean? Who's your pick?
I think that Sarah Snook might take it because it sounds super impressive.
Same. I think it's one of those spectacle things, and I hear that she is just fabulous. So moving on to best performance by an actor in a leading role in a musical or outstanding, could go either way. We have Darren Criss in Maybe Happy Ending, Andrew Durand for Dead Outlaw, Tom Francis for Sunset Boulevard. That man walks through rain and snow, literally. Jonathan Groff for Just in Time, and James Monroe Eglehart for A Wonderful World, the Louis Armstrong musical.
I really wanted to see A Wonderful World, and it closed very quickly.
Yeah, that's your jam.
That is my jam. Love James Monroe Eglehart also.
Mm-hmm. He was the OG genie in Aladdin.
Yes.
And was stunning.
Jonathan Groff.
Okay, hang on. Jonathan Groff and Darren Criss, both people who are like, should they get the award because they didn't get it last time? Wait, or is this Darren Criss's first? I don't know.
He was in...
He replaced Daniel Radcliffe in...
Merrily We Were All Along, right?
No,
Wasn't he in that?
How to Succeed. No, Daniel Radcliffe was in... Jonathan Groff was in
Merrily We Were All Along. Okay, so they were both on Broadway before.
Yeah. Oh, and he won for Merrily We Were All Along. Never mind. Mm-hmm. Ignore me.
Darren Criss.
This might be his first nom, because he's never originated something, has he?
Not that's ringing a bell to me right now, but Darren Criss, Jonathan Groff, Jeremy Jordan, all like the same category for me of like big followings, do concerts.
Oh, we didn't say Jeremy Jordan, P.S.
Oh, sorry.
We ended at James Monroe Eglehart.
Jeremy Jordan, also nominated for Flake Collins. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in this category.
Yeah.
This is a lot.
Yeah, it is. And all good. I mean, I hear Darren is great and maybe happy ending. Andrew Durand, I hear, makes the show in Dead Out Loud. Not that that's bad. Tom Francis is my pick, not going to lie. That man runs Sunset Boulevard. That, like, for me, he's the winner. But then you also have Jonathan Groff, James, and Jeremy. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't think Jeremy Jordan's going to win.
No?
I think it's going to be Darren Criss.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Interesting. Next up.
Best performance by an actress in a leading role in a musical.
Oh, here's the tough one, friends.
Megan Hilty, Death Becomes Her. Audra McDonald, Gypsy. Jasmine Amy Rogers for Boop the Musical. Nicole Scherzinger, Sunset Boulevard. And Jennifer Samard, Death Becomes Her.
5 actresses, 6 actors. Think we should read into that?
No. I do think it's like the numbers game of like that there were more eligible I don't knows.
Gotcha. So Queen Audra is now the most Tony-nominated human on the planet, right?
Yes.
I think
11?
for performances.
Yeah.
Right? And she, of course, is a tour de force in Gypsy. I have heard no one say a bad thing about her performance in Gypsy. Then you have Megan Hilty and Jen Samard from Death Becomes Her, who are both fabulous. Mm-hmm. Do yourself a favor. If you don't live in New York, look up the Death Becomes Her Today Show performance. They are just fabulous.
It's not even, I mean, and I can speak for Boop also, and I'm sure Audra is the same. Like, what's crazy is that all of these ladies are singing hard scores, most of the time, also dancing.
Right.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Not Nicole Scherzinger. She just stands there and parks and barks.
Okay. Boop is choreography heavy.
Mm-hmm. Death Becomes Her is choreography.
Has a lot of stunt and a lot of character work and voices, and even within
and
the
they
singing,
age, and there's lots going on there.
So there's like so many layers to their performances.
And then Audra and Gypsy, one of the greatest roles in theater history, right?
Right. So
it's tough.
Not going to be an easy. I think any one of them could take it.
Yeah,
really.
And I think this is a rare category where I don't think there's a split here, because I think Megan, Jen, Audra, Jasmine, Nicole, they all are, well, maybe Jasmine not so much, but these are 4 well-known actresses who people love their work, and they are all doing very well here. I will say personally, I don't want Nicole Scherzinger to win. I know everyone's like, she's a revelation. She's a member of the Pussycat Dolls, that group from long ago. Mm-hmm. And, I think to me, Sunset Boulevard, like I said, the male lead in Sunset Boulevard, which is Tom Francis in this case, does a lot more heavy lifting than the female lead. I think he rarely leaves the stage, and in this adaptation, she doesn't leave the stage so much in Act 2 either. But I think that, listen, she stood on stage and rubbed blood on herself. And people are like, oh, amazing. I'm not as easily impressed. She sang the songs well. She does give a great performance, but I feel like these other four ladies are just, they're harder roles, you know? Mm-hmm. And I feel like me personally, I would prefer one of them to get it. I don't know that I can pick. I haven't seen Jasmine Amy Rogers, but just the stuff that I've seen from Boop, she's working. She's working hard.
She's, I think, 26 years old, making her Broadway debut.
Yeah.
Tap dancing and in heels the entire time.
There you go.
In a bunch of outfits the entire time. Mm-hmm. The character voice, the singing with the character voice. Yeah. It's really great. I don't think she'll win though.
Yeah.
Because of like the greenness there. But this is competitive. I'm gonna say Megan Hilty.
Oh, I would love Queen Megan to win.
I'm gonna say that just because we have to pick something.
I you know what? I'll jump on that train. All right, Megan Hilty. Here it is.
Best performance by an actor in a featured role in a play. Glenn Davis, Purpose. Gabriel Ebert, John Proctor as the villain. Francis Chu, Yellowface. Bob Odenkirk, Glengarry Glen Ross. Conrad Ricamora, Oh Mary. Okay, so not a lot for Glengarry Glen Ross,
which is different because every time a David Mamet show is on Broadway, it gets ridiculous amounts of nominations. And this one is that outlier, which may mean that people are done with David Mamet, which is possible. He's kind of a jerk. Or it could just mean this is a bad production.
I think he kind of was canceled recently, but he's an interesting fellow.
Jerk.
Yeah. That's a good word for this podcast. I don't know here.
It's hard, right?
I think I might just go with Glenn Davis because Purpose seems to have a lot of noms and really strong performances.
Yep.
I think I'm going to vote for that.
All right. I will jump on that bandwagon as well. Glenn Davis for Purpose. We need to see more plays.
I know.
Or musical heavy.
Also, I think that something I also read and I'm seeing now is that the plays, in terms of roles, very male heavy. I don't think there was as many eligible women for play categories.
Interesting. Best performance by an actress in a featured role in a play. We have Tala Ash from English, Jessica Hesht from Eureka Day, Marjan Neshet from English, Fina Straza from John Proctor as the villain, and Carrie Young from Purpose. Yeah, right? So there's English, which you were mentioning earlier, right? And more John Proctor and Eureka Day and Purpose. So it's those three shows, right? No Hills of California here. No Yellowface here. Mm-hmm. So an interesting category. Any thoughts?
I could be thinking incorrectly, but I think Carrie Young was nominated last year in this category also, but I could be completely wrong.
Doing this live from New York City, friends, we don't have the benefit of having our computers out and looking up the things we say.
If I'm right, I'm going to really buy myself an ice cream. But
or a Schmackery's cookie.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to say Jessica Hesht for Eureka Day because I feel like she has not come away with an award as of late.
All right. I'm going to say Carrie Young for Purpose.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Best performance by an actor in a featured role in a musical. Haha. My favorite guy that I can't pronounce his name. Brooks Ashmanskas.
Hey, that was pretty good.
From Smash. One of Smash's only noms. One of two, I think. Jeb Brown for Dead Outlaw. Danny Burstein for Gypsy. Jack Malone, Operation Mincemeat. Taylor Trench, Floyd Collins. Brooks was very exciting and fun, but
so good.
Smash was like just a good old
Broadway
musical
party.
Theater comedy.
Yeah, totally.
Funny. I don't know if they're going to go for more of like a dramatic.
Well, it is a musical, right? So I don't know that many of these are. I mean, I guess Danny Burstein is kind of dramatic in Gypsy, but yeah.
But Herbie's kind of a comedic-ish character, so Obviously, I'm going to go for Smash because I want them to win something. So
Agreed. I agree. And Brooks is great. I've seen him in a few shows.
Good old
He's
character
really
actor. We like him.
Absolutely. Brooks, we hope you win. Best performance by an actress in a featured role in a musical. Natalie Venetia Belkin for Buena Vista Social Club. Julia Nittell for Dead Outlaw. Gracie Lawrence, Just in Time. And Justina Machado for Real Women Have Curves, and Joy Woods for Gypsy.
Okay, I saw Joy Woods this past summer in The Notebook.
Mm-hmm.
Terrific voice.
That's what I'm hearing.
Really great voice, but young.
Yes. Did you hear the Ragtime production from City Centers just announced that it's going to be at Lincoln Center this fall?
No?
Joy Woods was supposed to play Sarah in that, but left it to play Gypsy.
Nice. Yeah, no, she is working right now. And actually, the other actress from Notebook 2, the young Allie, and there's like young Allie Joy Woods and then young Allie, another actress. They're both in Gypsy right now, which is crazy. So we're booked and busy,
Play a younger version once, play a younger version again.
Well, sibling rivalry, whatever's. But I think she might win because she's a really fantastic young superstar.
Yeah, I agree. Unless Julia Nittell takes it for Dead Outlaw, I think it's going to be Joy Woods.
And we like Joy.
We do. Moving on.
Best scenic design of a play. Want to help me here? Let me butcher this.
Miriam Wather and 59 for Stranger Things, The First Shadow.
Marg Horrell and David Bergman for The Picture of Dorian Gray.
Marcia Ginsburg for English.
Rob Howell, The Hills of California.
Scott Pask, Good Night and Good Luck.
Okay, Scott Pask is nominated quite frequently, sometimes 2 shows in the same season.
Yes.
This man is always working.
It's good for him.
I'm
going to go with Stranger Things. I think there's a lot happening there, and I think the sets are spectacularly and fantastic.
I'm going to vote for Picture of Dorian Gray because I think if there's only one person in the show the whole time,
but it's
they've got to be doing something with the set.
It's just screens.
Not mesmerizing enough screens, as we've learned from Redwood.
Not when you've got practical things like Stranger Things and English. You know what I mean? I think practical.
Then I'm just voting.
Design.
Then I'm voting for Scott Pask.
All right. Good night and good luck. Maybe that's what we're going to be saying to you. Best scenic design of a musical. Ready? Rachel Hawk for Swept Away.
Why do you do this to me?
I didn't. I'm just repeating what we did.
Arnulfo Maldonado, Buena Vista Social Club.
Derek McLean for Death Becomes Her and Just in Time.
And Dane Laffrey and George Reeve for Maybe Happy Ending. See, this is what I'm saying. This guy, 2 musicals in the same category, best.
But the set in Death Becomes Her is
very cool.
Divine.
Very cool. Very functional.
Yes.
Works.
Beautiful.
Okay.
That staircase. Ooh.
I think Derek's going to take it for one of these shows.
You think?
Let's hope he takes it for one.
I will say that. Yep, I'll jump on that train. Derek McLean, Death Becomes Her. Here we go. Next up.
Costume design of a play.
You want me to try this one first?
Please.
Brenda Abendandolo for Good Night and Good Luck.
Thank you. Marg Horwell. Again. The Picture of Dorian Gray.
Rob Howell for The Hills of California.
Holly Pearson, Oh Mary.
Bridget Reifenstuhl for Stranger Things, The First Shadow.
I think we need to pick the people with the longest last names for this.
I think it's going to go to Holly Pearson for Oh Mary.
Okay. I'm, again, going to try to vote for The Picture of Dorian Gray. Because, again, my rationale is if it's one person, they must have a lot of cool costumes.
There you go. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Next up. Best costume design of a musical. Didi Ayete for Buena Vista Social Club. I'm sorry for mispronouncing your name, as I'm sure I did, Didi.
Greg Barnes, Boop the Musical.
Clint Ramos, Maybe Happy Ending.
Paul Tazewell, Death Becomes Her.
Catherine Zuber, Just in Time.
Okay, I was super, super impressed with Boop the musical.
Oh, dude, if you see that video where the dance is half in
black
color,
and white
half
and the
black
color,
white, she's got to win.
It,
is that him? No, him. He's got to win. Sorry.
It was so cool.
Yeah, he's
going back and forth, and the innovation of the front and back being in a different time and
that
place.
piece that Michelle Williams wears in Death Becomes Her, the opening number,
the heavy,
so much glitter,
crazy neck,
so many shinies.
It's basically like she's a potion bottle.
Oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
And can't move.
It's I don't think she can. She literally just walks across the stage. I don't think she can do much else.
There's no ography for Michelle.
No,
Williams.
Not in that number. Not at all. So yeah, I'm going to say Boop because I think that is just cool.
It's so cool. I thought the set would be nominated. The set designer would be nominated as well.
For Boop?
Yeah, because they had a bunch of cool, because
it's based on a cartoon, right?
And like going between the black and white world and I thought it was cool, but
I would like to see it. I hope it doesn't close before summer because I want to see it.
Me too. Okay, best lighting design of a play. Heather Gilbert and David Bengali, Good Night and Good Luck.
Natasha Chivers, The Hills of California.
John Clark, Stranger Things, The First Shadow.
Nick Schleiper, The Picture of Dorian Gray.
Natasha Katz and Hannah Wasilewski, John Proctor as the villain.
Good job. This is lighting of a play. I'm going to vote Picture of Dorian Gray for this one. Because screens are hard to light.
I'm going to hope that they win that. Because I just want this one-woman show to do something for me.
One-person show.
Okay.
We don't say woman or man anymore.
Well, one being. Okay?
One human. Next up, best lighting design of a musical. Jack Knowles in Sunset Boulevard.
Tyler Michelou, Buena Vista Social Club.
Ben Stanton, Maybe Happy Ending.
Scott Zielinski and Rui Horn, Son, Floyd Collins.
Justin Townsend, Death Becomes Her. I'm going to go Sunset Boulevard on this one because, full disclosure, there were times where I was just looking at the lights and the smoke because Jamie Lloyd is so minimalistic. There's nothing to look at.
No, I think that might win too because of just the
beautiful
lights.
Yep, well done. Next up, 2025 Best Sound Design of a Play. What do you think?
Well, I can tell you who we thought shouldn't have won it. Was that it's counted as this season or last season?
I don't know.
Back to the Future.
Oh God, that was 2 seasons ago. No, I'm just so happy it's leaving or already gone. Ooh.
I think we saw that in the fall.
We saw it in the fall, yeah.
Yeah, it came out a while ago, but
oh my goodness,
we couldn't hear a word they were saying.
It was so bad,
very garbled. So
bad.
Hopefully,
these people are hopefully better.
Any of these shows will be better.
Yes.
Paul Arditi, Stranger Things, The First Shadow.
Palmer Heffron, John Proctor is the villain.
Daniel Kluger, Good Night and Good Luck.
Nick Powell, The Hills of California.
Clements Williams, The Picture of Dorian Gray.
Ooh, so many options.
Can't say that I know much about the sound in any of these shows.
I'm leaning maybe towards Stranger Things because I think there's a lot of effects there. So,
we'll go with that.
But haven't seen it, so there you go. We're such bad theater snobs.
We need to see more plays.
Best sound design of a musical. Jonathan Dean's Buena Vista Social Club.
Adam Fisher, Sunset Boulevard.
Peter Helensky, Just in Time.
Peter Helensky again, Maybe Happy Ending.
Dan Moses Schreier, Floyd Collins.
Okay, I think the simple answer here will be Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah, dude walks out of the theater and sings while he's walking down the street, allegedly.
Yes, the sound is picking him up on the street.
Mm-hmm. Allegedly.
Okay. If it's true, they're getting rid of outside noises.
Well, if it's true, yes. But I think if it's true, where the magic really comes in, whether it's true or not, is the seamlessness of it, right? Like when he walks into the theater and when he's walking outside, you would never know. Just so you all know, my take is I think that he is canned when he's walking outside the theater and he has an earpiece in his ear so he can hear the music. But I think he's lip syncing outside the theater. I could be wrong. I fully accept that I could be wrong, but that's my thought. But the seamlessness of him walking down the stairs of the backstage out onto the street and back again, and then walking into the theater, you could not tell, like level wise. It's beautiful. So I think Adam Fisher for Sunset Boulevard.
I concur. Okay, best direction of a play.
Here we go.
Nud Adams, English.
Sam Mendes, Hills of California.
Sam Pinkleton, Oh Mary.
Danya Tamer, John Proctor is the villain.
Kip Williams, The Picture of Dorian Gray. So I realized this today. 1 million noms for actors for Purpose. No nom for Felicia Rashad.
I know.
For director.
Wait, is it Felicia Rashad or is it her daughter?
No, it's her.
Okay.
So strange. They were just magically, naturally good.
Although,
no
it's not Kenny Leon who is Kenny Leon. And
no nom for him either.
Oh, thank heaven.
Sam Mendes, we've seen some of his shows.
He's good. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with Sam Pinkleton for Oh Mary because I think that's just such a hit.
Yeah, agreed. I think I'm going to go Kip Williams for A Picture of Dorian Gray because I think one person shows are difficult, and to sort of manage all the screens flying in and out with the other characters, it's a work.
All that's
Good
going
job,
on.
Kip. Best direction of a musical: Saheem Ali for Buena Vista Social Club.
Michael Arden, maybe Happy Ending.
David Cromer, Dead Outlaw.
Christopher Gattelli, Death Becomes Her.
And Jamie Lloyd, Sunset Boulevard. If Sunset Boulevard wins, I will rage.
I know, you don't
The
like
man
this
put a MacBook in a show that's supposed to take place in the early 1900s.
That's not continuity. We're not going to go there.
Not happy.
I know, this person still gets paid.
Right?
Saheem Ali, I've been reading quite a bit about.
Dakota thought we were going to see that show tonight, but we're not.
I did think that. He directed James I. James's Fat Ham. Also,
okay.
So this getting in my brain, a newer name,
which is exciting.
which is good.
Yeah. Michael Arden, we've seen before. David Cromer, I don't recognize the name, but that means nothing.
No, he's
Christopher
been around.
Gattelli, definitely seen before, and Jamie Lloyd, we've seen before.
I'm gonna go for Ali because I think we need some
New blood.
new, fresh. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll jump on that bandwagon. Saheem Ali for Buena Vista Social Club.
Best choreography.
Ooh, this one.
Okay, Joshua Borghese for Smash.
So good. Camille Brown, Gypsy.
Christopher Gattelli for Death Becomes Her.
Jerry Mitchell, Boop.
And Patricia Delgado and Justin Peck, Buena Vista Social Club. Justin Peck did Illinois last season or two. Yeah, big in the dance world. Jerry Mitchell, obviously, staple. Chris Gattelli is here for direction and choreo.
Combo thing.
I don't know.
The Smash choreo was good.
It was good. I
didn't think
it was
good,
crazy.
but
Yeah.
I'm sure Gypsy is good because that's, maybe. I don't know. It's a dancey show.
It's a period, though. It's like, very
right.
vaudeville circuit stuff.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm going to go with Jerry Mitchell just because there is a very cool, intricate thing where the entire ensemble is tapping and moving in like a clock hands motion, all like staying in their diagonal and like in tune with each other.
So, brief interlude. Someone told me that they felt like Boop was very reminiscent of like Busby Berkeley and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like lots of visual choreography moments. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, in terms of like, not Ziegfeld in terms of like the headdresses and
the
that
costumes,
kind of thing,
right.
But in terms of that there are some big chorus numbers with a lot of ensemble, but not like that's the whole show.
Right.
And not
just
like,
a good element.
It's just women doing a variety act.
Right.
But yes, there are some nods to that, I think.
Okay,
yeah.
very cool. I'm going to vote Patricia Delgado and Justin Peck just because I'd like to see them win.
I'm here for it.
Here we go. Next up.
Best orchestrations, Will Aronson, maybe Happy Ending.
Bruce Coughlin, Floyd Collins.
Margot Paglia.
Marco
Paglia. Buena Vista Social Club.
Andrew Resnick and Michael Thurber in Just in Time.
David Cullen and Andrew Lloyd Webber, Sunset Boulevard. So in this category, if Sunset Boulevard wins, I will rage.
Yeah.
We're not Andrew Lloyd Webber fans.
Although I will say there is some cool orchestrations in this production, but I don't want it to win. I want Buena Vista Social Club to win.
I haven't thoroughly listened to enough of this music to really make a stand on it, but I don't really think a jukebox is winning here. So not Just in Time.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really have a good pick here.
All right, cool.
Ooh, there's a special Tony Award.
A couple of them.
A couple of them, yes. For Lifetime Achievement, Harvey Firestein.
Yes, wonderful. The musicians who make up the band of Buena Vista Social Club.
And the illustrations and technical effects.
Try that again.
The illusions and technical. I can't read. The illustrations. There's something with an I. The illusions and technical effects of Stranger Things, The First Shadow.
Which is interesting because the illusions and technical effects in Harry Potter from several years ago are stunning.
No award,
but they also, I believe, won like 3 or 4 other awards.
All
so
right.
Maybe that has something to do with it.
We're just giving away freebies now.
Freebies. Isabella Stevenson Award to Celia Keenan Bolger.
Tony Honors for Excellence in the Theater. Oh, great performances, PBS.
Yeah, Michael Price. And, sorry, I have to take this one. My first job when I moved to New York City, New 42. Yes,
Nice.
Shout out. The Duke Theater, New 42nd Street Studios.
And the New York Public Library for the Performing Arts. Wow, guys.
Those are the nominees and
did it.
the Theater Snobs picks. Like us on social media and tell us what you think.
And let us know what your picks are.
Yes.
At Theater Snobs, TRE Snobs.
On Instagram. And,
And find us on Spotify, Google.
Also, full disclosure, we're not editing this one. So you're going to hear noises and things.
We're
Enjoy
in it.
We are in New York City,
the real
friends.
deal, baby.
This is us. Theater Snobs out.
Bye.
The Theater Snobs podcast is part of Chill Bucket Productions. Find us on the web at www.chillbp.com.
And follow us on Instagram at Theater Snobs. That's Theater, TRE, Snobs. Where'd it go?
Hey, friends. So we did not talk about the best book of a musical.
But we remembered.
So here they are. Best book of a musical nominees.
Marco Ramirez for Buena Vista Social Club.
Itamar Moses for Dead Outlaw.
Marco Panett, Death Becomes Her.
Will Aronson and Hugh Park for Maybe Happy Ending.
David Cumming, Felix Hagen, Natasha Hodgson, and Zoe Roberts for Operation Mincemeat, a new musical.
Notably absent is Smash.
Yet again.
Oh my gosh. The book does all the heavy lifting in this musical.
So funny.
So much.
So that was our pick.
Yeah, it was. But out of these new picks, what do you think?
Death Becomes Her.
Death Becomes Her. I think I'm going to go with Dead Outlaw.
Okay.
All
But
right.
again,
Best book of a musical 2025.